Hello everybody, we are back here on the Hunter Call of the Wild. Today we are actually going to be doing a little bit of a reserve prediction video for future reserves here in the Hunter Call of the Wild. Now obviously at this point I think it's no secret that they have decided not to do Africa 2.0 for the next map, as a lot of you have heard that on the EW streams. It's unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. But in the meantime, as we wait to find out what this next map is going to be, I figured, why not have some fun? Let's talk about what type of animals I would like to see if they did decide to do a second Africa map. And this video is going to be focused on stuff that you could find in South Africa, because we recently got a South Africa map in the Angler, and I figured, why not? Let's see what it would be like if we got one in the Hunter. The developers heavily focus on things that the majority of the community wants, so let's show the devs that we want another Africa map. Leave a like on the video, leave a comment down below letting me know what you think about this list of animals, what you think of the idea of a South Africa map, and just how much you actually want to see it. Let's show EW that we want another Africa map added to the game. You know, the first animal we're going to take a look at is one that some of you may not even know exists. This is the caracal? Caracal? I think that's the way it's pronounced. Caracal. It's a mid-sized cat that is found in South Africa as well as some other parts of the world. These wacky looking little fellers with their weird ear hair are honestly a really cool cat that I didn't even know existed. And I mean, if we're going to have another Africa map, you know it's got to have a couple of cat species, a couple of predatory species, things like that. Among this, obviously, I would love to see lions coming back to another Africa map. But in terms of like new stuff, that's really all we're going to be showing today is new stuff. We're not going to talk about animals that could get moved from Virhonga onto a new Africa map. We're just going to talk about new species that I would like to see on one. And obviously, there is a lot of animals that could be on an Africa map, so we're not going to cover every cool animal that there is because there's just too many. I've just picked out a few that I think would be my favorites and the ones that I would like to see the most. And the next on the list, speaking of cats, let's take a look at another one, the leopard. The leopard has been such a widely requested animal by myself as well as lots of the community for a very, very long time. There could be a lot of cool stuff that would come with a leopard being added. I mean, first of all, it would be one of the biggest cats in the game. It would be a super aggressive predatory animal, and it would be a lot of fun to hunt. And although leopards are less aggressive and likely to attack than some of the other big cats, that doesn't change the fact that they are still a very dangerous animal, and they are quite good at doing exactly what they need to survive, which is kill and eat meat to live. And honestly, out of all of the different animals that we're going to talk about today, this is probably the one that I would like the most. I mean, if they could only bring in one animal from this list, this would probably be the one that I would like to see. The leopard just is such a stunning animal. It'd be so fun to hunt, and you could just imagine how crazy the rares would look. Next up is one that I've talked about extensively in the past. This is the eland. The eland is the biggest antelope that you can find in Africa, and in fact, I think it might be the biggest antelope in the entire world. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. You know, hopefully all of the animals that we look at today actually can be found in South Africa and not just like other parts of Africa, because I just did some research earlier, checked up what animals could be in South Africa. It says all of these can, so we're going to hope that that's correct, but there is a possibility that some of these are from other parts of Africa. But let me know in the comments, would you guys like to see an eland get added to the Hunter Call of the Wild if they decide to add in a South Africa map? The eland would be such a cool animal. They're absolutely massive. By far the biggest antelope species in the entire world. And in fact, they'd be the biggest in the game as well. Currently, our biggest is the Gemsbok, which is a type of antelope, though it wouldn't even compare to this. If they added these to the game, they would definitely be a class 9 animal, and they would probably be able to take a lot of damage before dying. You'd need a big rifle to take down this beast. Now here's another fairly well-known animal that lives in Africa, the impala. This is one that I would love to see because not only is it a super cool looking antelope, but it's one that I've known about ever since I was a little kid, and I've always loved it when hunting games add the impala in, and I'm sure that most of you can probably agree they are probably the coolest looking antelope. The horns, at least. The horns just look incredible for the impala. But what rhymes with impala? Well, Nyala. That is the next animal we're looking at. The Nyala is another very interesting antelope. You know, I don't really know too much about this one aside from the fact that they look really cool. They've got some really nice looking horns. They have beautiful colors. In fact, I might try to get a couple different images of them to put up instead of just one like I have been doing, because there is some really cool colors on them. And I think the picture that I originally chose wasn't super good at showing that off. Okay, I did find another image. Let's put that up on screen right now. You can see the colors now. The colors are beautiful in these Nyala. I would absolutely love to have one of them in the game, especially with those like orange legs. Like, look at that. The way the colors kind of like transition and get lighter as you go down on the body. Well, actually, they kind of get darker and then they get lighter again. It's very cool. I like them a lot, and I'd love to see them added to the game. The next one is also a no-brainer. Zebras are needed in Call of the Wild. The fact that we have an Africa map with no zebras is practically a crime. It's very unfortunate that they're not already in the game, as they'd be really cool to hunt. They're large herd animals, or they're in large herds, I should say, and so they'd be a lot of fun to hunt in that regard. It'd be similar to the wildebeest, how the wildebeest in the game currently are in massive herds, and then they stampede, and it's a really cool experience to be a part of. Just imagine that with a zebra herd, except much larger usually. I mean, just go to Google and type in zebra herd and take a look at some of the images. These herds for zebra get insane. There is some massive herds of zebras out there. So that would be a really cool thing to see in Call of the Wild. If we could get zebras in the game and have them create these massive herds of like 40, 50, 60 animals, oh my gosh, that would be such a cool experience. I think a great way to implement this would be to have just a few herds throughout the map, but those herds be like super, super massive. So maybe you only have like 4 herds of zebra on your map, but they happen to have like 30, 40, 50 zebras in each of those herds. I think that would be really, really cool. And it would definitely make like zebra encounters very special. But now this brings us to the last one. And obviously this one is a no-brainer for something that people want in the game. The elephant. Elephants have been requested super consistently throughout the years for the Hunter Call of the Wild. And you know, there was a time where I would have said, there's no way that they'll ever add an elephant into the game. But as of recent, they've kind of been making some decisions that we've seen where it makes me think, hey, maybe elephants are not completely out of the question now. There was a time where they told us we'd never get an AR added to the game because people don't hunt with them, quote unquote. But, I mean, in America, they're super popular for hunting because they're one of the best rifles you could use. They're the most reliable, they've got a faster fire rate, and they're just like really good guns for hunting. And so we've seen EW slowly add them into the game, and now they're some of the most popular rifles in the entire game. However, there is definitely some things that would have to happen first if we ever want to see elephants in the Hunter Call of the Wild. Not only would we 100% need a larger lodge that has a taller roof in order to just fit these things inside of it, but they would have to figure out a way to also like fit them on a mount. We would need a larger full body platform. We would need larger head mounts. There's a lot of stuff that we would need changed with lodges to even like get a elephant to fit in them. And then of course we also get into the discussions of how would they handle the hunting of the elephant. Obviously we would need some larger rifles in the game. I know the 470 could be used on them, but I would like to see something even larger. I would love to see a 700 Nitro Express or something along the lines of that to really bring us the full experience of an elephant hunt. And speaking of like adding to the experience, if we want to take a look at the like realistic side of things, elephants in real life are usually hunted for conservation reasons. So in most cases, the reason that you would be able to hunt an elephant is because of the fact that most likely you would have paid a very large amount of money to go hunt that animal. You'd be on a guided trip where you have a specific elephant that you're going to be targeting that needs to be taken out for one reason or another, whether it's a old bull that's just causing a lot of problems for the younger bulls. If you didn't know, a lot of times the older bulls, they're not fertile anymore. They can't create any more baby elephants. And so all they do is just cause trouble. They're out there injuring like the younger bulls. They're fighting them, pushing them away, while the younger bulls are trying to, you know, breed with all of the other female elephants that are there. And obviously you could see that being a problem. If there's an old bull who has literally no usefulness left to that herd and is just causing trouble, then of course they're going to need to get him out of there. So in a lot of cases, you're going to pay to go out and hunt an elephant in a situation like that. And it's not cheap. It's very expensive. So I think what they should do in the game is they should make it so there's just a few elephants on the map, and it costs money to get a tag to go after one. Because I think that would be, first of all, a very good, like, money sink. It would be a good use of our money in the Hunter Call of the Wild, because in most cases, like, once you've unlocked everything, once you've bought all the guns and stuff like that, once you've got tents and tripods for all your maps, money kind of just doesn't go to anything aside from ammo and taxidermizing trophies. And so what you get is a lot of us players that have played for quite a while just have an infinite amount of cash to use on virtually nothing. And so this would add another money sink to the game while also kind of keeping it on the realistic side of things. And just think, if they did it in this way, it would be so rare and special to see a rare elephant or a diamond elephant. It would make that type of thing so special that I think it would become one of the most exciting things to do in the game. So hopefully, whenever they decide to do another Africa map, they take this type of stuff into account. We already know that we're not getting an Africa map as the next map in Call of the Wild, but that doesn't mean that we can't get it as the one after that, or the one after that. It'll happen eventually. They have to revisit Africa at some point with how big of a request it's been. And man, if they did it like this, I don't think I'd ever leave that map. But let me know what you guys think down below. Like I said, comment on the video. Let me know what types of animals I missed that you would like to see. Let me know which one of these that I showed was your favorite. Let me know if you like the ideas with the elephant. And also, let EW know that we want another Africa map in the game. And hit that like button while you're down there as well. It's completely free. It helps out the video a ton, and it shows me that you like the content. Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe if you're brand new, and I will see you all in the next one. Oh, and if you're still here, might as well go click one of the other videos and watch that as well. They'll be popping up on screen shortly.